Welcome to Rope Dropping Knowledge, where we guide you through the magic of Disney.
All right, thanks to Brian and Tracy for having me on their show today. My name is Johnny J. I am the host of the DMSW podcast. That's D for Disney, M for Marvel, SW for Star Wars. I started my show as a Disney fan stuck at home, like most of us, I think, during COVID, looking for a way to inject some more Disney into our lives while we were stuck at home and didn't have the parks to keep us entertained. So I started listening to a bunch of Disney podcasts, and then it didn't take long before I felt like I was missing out on this really cool Disney party and had to try to get myself in the door to take part in that same party myself. So started up my own show, and like I said, the name, it kind of tells you what the show is all about. We cover all things Disney, Disney parks, Disney movies, Disney Plus. We talk about all the new Marvel shows and the Marvel movies that come out. And same thing with Star Wars. Any new Star Wars show coming into Disney Plus or a new Star Wars movie sounds like that they're planning for in the next few years here. We'll talk about that and cover that on the show as well. Brian and Tracy are some of the best friends that I've made since starting this podcast, and it's exactly one of the reasons I started the podcast in the first place. Like I said, not only do we miss having Disney in our lives, but wanted to try to meet some more Disney super fans like myself that really enjoyed going to the parks and building friendships around the subject of Disney and the Disney park experience. And it felt like we're so lucky to cross paths with Carrie from Dole Whip Float on Instagram, because she introduced me to Brian and Tracy and their podcast, and it feels like the rest has been history since then. We've been best of buddies on Instagram from there. We listen to each other's show. We talk about each other's show. We try to promote each other's show. Brian and Tracy have a fantastic Disney podcast, one of my go-to podcasts that I listen to every week, and I'm lucky enough to be here with them tonight. We're having dinner at the Magic Key Terrace overlooking the fabulous DCA here. Beautiful night in California. So happy to get a chance to hang out with them in person after talking online for so long. And we're here in the parks because the podcast Mikes for Magic event is finally coming to a close tomorrow. Disney is having their final day for Splash Mountain in the parks, and Brian and Tracy have been our biggest supporters from day one with Podcast Mikes for Magic. They talk about it on their show. They do everything that they can to help bring in donations and get the word out for us, and just everything all looped in together. Friendship, co-podcasters, friends that help us with this charity event. We're just very lucky to have met each other and cross paths, and I can't thank them enough for having me on this episode of all episodes. Congrats to them. 200 episodes is an amazing achievement, and here's to the next 200. Can't wait to see where we go together on our podcasting adventures over those next 200 with you guys.
All right, Johnny J.
Thank you, Johnny.
That was awesome, Johnny. Thank you so much. This is our 200th episode.
Woohoo!
Our official
Cheer.
200th episode.
Cheer button.
All right, enough of that. But yes, this is a huge milestone for us, and we had a big. I don't know if I want to call it a weekend because it technically came after the weekend, but a big Monday and
a
Tuesday,
big day.
a couple days, yeah,
Yes,
and yes, it was awesome. We got together, and it was kind of like it was the perfect culmination of our 200th episode and the wrap up of the Chalk fundraiser. Even though the fundraiser is still up, so you can still donate.
Yes, you can still donate.
So we don't want to take that away from anybody. But yes, it was a great Monday and Tuesday. We just got home maybe an hour ago.
Yeah.
Today's Wednesday, the 31st. We said we're going to have the 200th episode out in May. Technically, we are doing that. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We're mostly just going to rehash, the experiences we had the last couple of days. Met some awesome people and people that we've only known digitally, social media wise. Got to meet them in person, and I think maybe we should just start. Like, how did we start this journey to 200?
I think it was, and I can't believe it's already been 200. And in June 9th, on June 9th, it'll be our 4th year doing this. But it started when you and I were going to Disney, and we always, of course, do what we always do is hang out at Sonoma Terrace and drink a Brother Thelonious. And then we always debate on Disney stuff.
Yeah.
And I call it arguing, but you call it debating, but whatever. What we always do on this podcast. So I think I just thought, I think, why not record this? What we're talking about here, because it's about Disney and we're always debating about Disney stuff. And we just thought, why not record it and do a podcast? Because you had already done your own Scaling the Well podcast.
Right.
And then I was more like, oh, no, I don't want to talk on the microphone. Like I was kind of like that. I mean, I had a little social media account, but it was just pictures of food and not me. So it's like, I don't want to go on social media. I don't want to talk.
And this is going to sound totally sexist, but almost every female I know who's gotten into social media type stuff, at least I know, it's like, I don't want to be,
the face
on
of
the mic.
it,
Or
yeah.
I don't want to be on mic. I hate the sound of my voice. I don't want to be on YouTube. I don't want to be on this. And then like a few episodes in with whatever they're doing, they're the lead. They're talking more than
Yes, I
the
talk
other
over
person.
you. Yeah, there's a couple of
You're the one to
foodies.
remind me. It's like, hey, we got to do a podcast, Brian. Let's get this
Yes.
together. Hey, Brian,
Well,
take
that's
pictures of
why,
this. Take pictures
because
of
when
that.
I do
Yeah.
something, I have to just do it perfectly. And so that's why I don't want to do it, because it's like, oh man, I'm lazy, Yeah, but you're right, because there's a couple of YouTube foodies that I follow. They're like food travel channels, and you never see the wife on screen. I just see her hand, and I always wonder, hey, what's this guy's wife look like? I wonder, because she's always there with him eating the food, but you never see her.
Yeah.
You might hear her, but I was like, man. But then now, eventually, she agreed to be on camera. And then now it's just her, like, not just her, but mostly her on camera, like eating and, telling the review and stuff. So, yeah, that is funny how that works out.
And it's weird because in business and, I've been involved in many businesses, own businesses, to help other people develop businesses and stuff. And women really get things done, man. They're really the ones who are always taking charge and taking lead. And I don't know if that's a socialization thing or whatever, but it's kind of like I see the value in that. And so I would never, and I do the same at work. There's a lot of people at work who are, and even with men too, people who are just shy generally because maybe they haven't been out there publicly. And then I say, hey, but everyone's like, well, Brian, you speak publicly, you speak so well. I'm like, not really. I don't. I just do it.
Yeah.
And once you get on there, I think you get comfortable. And then there's so many people who I've introduced either to public speaking, presentations. When we work I'm in HR, obviously, I've told this 1,000 times. I work with people on career development. And when they start going up there and doing presentations and getting used to it, and podcasting is a perfect way to it enhances the other, like your presentation skills in your job, or your presentation and your skill on job helping with social media or entertainment. Once you get used to just speaking to an audience, you'll be surprised at how many people that you wouldn't even have thought of that are just they're just kind of the wallflowers, or they're kind of just standing in the corner, just become these great speakers. Some people can do it naturally. I don't even think I'm that great at it. I think that I'm just, maybe it's my ego. I just talk. You actually have some insights that I would never do, and that's why I wanted you on the mic. And I think just some of, like you were saying, some of the debates we were talking about over Disney, you would call them arguments, but some of the stuff that we were talking about, I'm like, this is great content. Like, people need to hear this, And also, there's just so many other people that, especially when the pandemic hit and the lockdown happened, that's actually when we started our giveaways.
Yes.
Well, we didn't
have
start the
giveaways
giveaway. We kind of had
before.
an in-park giveaway, the
Yeah,
Reynolds
we
family
had the
one.
one.
And then we did maybe one or two more, I don't remember. But the monthly giveaways, it's like because people were just
At home.
at home and they couldn't go to the parks and they couldn't do anything. And it was just like, man, how can we like just add a little bit of something?
Yeah,
you know,
we
to
wanted
look
to bring
forward to?
magic to people while they were at home.
Yeah.
And
it
that's
just kept
when
going.
it started.
Yeah. And you really helped with that. You actually, you know, we make jokes
I
about it.
go to the post office.
She does almost everything. All I do is purchase the stuff. You know, she wraps it up. She puts the little stickers and all the stuff. She makes it a little nice package. She reaches out to people. You're the one talking to most of the people.
I'm the one talking to most of you. If you're
I rarely,
messaging me through DM, Instagram,
yeah, if it's rope dropping
me.
knowledge, you're talking to Tracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once in a while, Brian will chime in, but he'll say it's him.
Yeah. I usually put that because people would get confused. It's like, this doesn't sound like you, Tracy.
People can tell because I was even talking to Emily from Make It Magical, and she also mostly does the social media stuff, the talking on Instagram. But once in a while, I can tell when it's Clayton, her husband, her co-host, when it's Clayton's post. So people, she can also tell when it's your post, or like Carrie can tell when it's you, because like you won't put hashtags or anything, or you'll put like one hashtag, and then you don't say much. Like most men, right? They don't say much. You'll just post something, and then it's like, okay, like all those jokes and memes are all you,
Yeah.
because I'm not that funny.
Yeah. We're doing some gross generalizations, but they're fun. These are the type of things we debate about that we think you guys need to hear to improve and enhance your lives. So.
Yes. And then our name is because we used to rope drop.
Oh, we were
We don't
super
anymore.
rope droppers. We were super rope
We're
droppers.
so lazy now and old now that we're just like, whatever, we'll get there at 2 p.m. But yes, we used to rope drop.
Yeah, all the time. And actually, you know, when you talk about a shift in business strategies, if we were, you know, we're not a business, we don't sell anything. I think we have those 2 journals that we put on the website. You can sell through Amazon. I think like if someone buys it, we get like 30 cents each one or something like that. I don't know if anybody's even buying them or not, but yeah, it's when you talk about a shift in business strategy, we started off as a tips and hacks type of, you know, because in our world and in most people, they don't go to Disney that much. They don't, you know, just your average person. And so our friends and our family always looked at us as the Disney experts because when me and you started dating back in 2013, one of the first things we did was get annual passes. And we've been going to Disney together since then. And so, you know, it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
But what I realized in the last couple of days, we are not a tips and hacks Disney podcast.
Well, we were when we started because it was the only one.
I think, well,
we
I
were
think
the
we thought
only
we
podcaster.
were. We weren't the only podcaster, but I think we thought we were good at tips and hacks.
No, because in 2019, we were one of the first, and there was maybe one more, and they don't even do it anymore.
Well, there were YouTubers, but yeah, there's not a lot of. Well, there was still a lot of podcasts.
Not even. Most people started in 2020.
A lot of people did.
A lot of the Disney content creators started in 2020. And then now it's so saturated. It's like, okay, I mean,
but
you can get most of your tips somewhere else.
There was still probably a good 700-800 podcasts when we started. Because I looked.
But not Disney.
Yeah,
Disney ones?
Yeah.
Wonder if they're still around.
Some of them are. Yeah.
Because I know bobsleds and whatever, banthas.
Yeah.
They were one of the first, but they don't even do it anymore. So
yeah, it's hard to get to 200.
Yeah.
But my point is that I think we thought we were, because our friends and family thought we were so good at tips and tricks.
Yeah,
and
there
stuff.
wasn't as much.
But
back
I
then.
realized in these last 2 days, we ain't nothing. we got nothing. I mean, the people we met and hung out with Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, they are
really
good at it.
They are like, if we're kind of, if we were looking at it as a military, like the Disney people were a military, we're the cooks. And then we just met the Navy SEALs because we met Delta Force. because
true content creators, because we're, like I said, I don't know about you, but I'm lazy. So when I'm at the parks, I just want to enjoy the parks.
Yeah.
and I don't want to like have my phone out all the time. So that's why we don't do much documenting and vlogging.
Right.
I mean, I had for the first time in I don't know how many years broke out my GoPro
Hmm.
for Splash Mountain because it's waterproof.
Yeah.
So, and again, I don't know if I'll ever post that video because
Yeah.
I hate editing. I hate posting because there's so much. If I don't do it every day, I forget. So that's why I don't like doing all that stuff. I was like, I'd rather just watch you guys do it. And I don't know. I guess I'll just talk.
Yeah.
I know I post food. That's what I do. I like posting food,
Yeah.
but we only do that once a week for
We'll
Taste
talk
Talk.
about the macaroon
Yeah.
controversy later.
Yeah.
But,
But yeah, everything else, I'm just like, I just want to enjoy my day and not have to. But
yeah.
a lot of people,
But I
it
think
comes
they
second
enjoy
nature to
their-
them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like we're garbage. Like,
Garbage.
We're garbage compared to these people because there's people out there enjoying their day. They got 6 kids. Johnny got 6 kids, and they're not. It's not that they're not enjoying their day. They're just that good.
Yeah.
They're just that. Because I think the people we know in our personal spheres think we're just like these Disney elites. And we thought that. I think that we start thinking that when you start
Yeah.
talking to people.
But
It's-
I think they just want to.
it's kind of like
talk.
when you play street ball,
Mhm.
and then you're just dominating everybody at your local rec or whatever, and then you actually meet a division, an NCAA Division I player,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh.
But we always thought we were just. Our focus was on the podcast and
Yeah.
not on Instagram and all that stuff.
They got
so
podcasts
that's
too.
why.
I'm not
I
trying to.
know.
I'm not trying to undercut us. I'm just saying, as far as the energy, I was just like,
Yeah.
whoa, these people
Yeah.
know this. Hannah was like,
Oh,
on
Hannah's
that
like
clock.
the.
Yeah.
Yeah, she started. I think I don't know when she started, but I think her podcast was later. But she was probably during the pandemic too. But yeah, she is really good at documenting everything and just like being out there and
Yeah, it was so much fun, and when I say that, I'm not saying like, oh wow, that's that. I'm saying it's just anytime you can see another level or something, you have two choices. You can you could be like, oh well, that's that. I think we can do it, but or you could be like, that's awesome.
yeah, that's what makes it so good.
It's
Like
so
her so
cool.
good is that she'll be documented. I would be sitting right next to her, and I don't even know she was on Instagram Live or something
Right.
because she's that good with it that she makes it natural. She's not like those annoying influencers who are like taking up the whole space and doing a photo shoot. Not
know.
like that. I didn't even know. I'm like, oh, she just filmed that. I was sitting right there, and I didn't even notice. Like like that.
And I was really cool. Yeah. And so we met a lot of people this weekend for Chalk, which was, I totally loved Hannah and Johnny put the fundraiser together, a podcast, Mics for Magic. And yeah, it's still ongoing. Raised thousands of dollars so far. We're going to keep it going. I don't know how long until the final thing, because I think what's going to happen is eventually we're going to turn this into another project. Maybe another charity. I don't know if it's the same charity or another one, but I think that we can see the energy is there and the effort is there. And there are so many people who not even in the podcast space, who are just creators, who are small business owners, who just, donated their money and time. And this kind of just lined up with our 200th episode. And it was just like, we're going to be like, well, it's not like we're taking credit for it, but it was just like a good mix match
Yeah, it just
of things.
merged
Yeah,
together
and
nicely.
And it was just the best way for us to celebrate with all these other people who have their own content and who have their own projects. And it was great. I mean, we could mention them right now. Who would we meet up with there? We had
Well, I was going to mention them as I meet them. Like as I talk about our day, because then I will remember, so.
chronologically.
Yeah, chronologically. We met a lot. And yeah, it's just cool to be with
like-minded people.
Like-minded people, like
And I think
interests.
the best thing about it is we're not crazy.
Yes.
There's people out there
Because our
that
family
energy.
look at us as weird adult Disney people.
Oh yeah.
But we're like, oh my gosh, yes, that you meet all these
You
people,
meet
and
your
you're like,
spirit
yes,
family.
that's what I'm saying, and then like this, hey, that's what we do too.
We're
kind of
not
thing.
weirdos.
So it's like, hey, okay,
Yeah.
because when we go to Disney with our like family, it's more like, okay, tell me what to do, and it's kind of we guide them through Disney, but they're like, oh, you like would go. It's like when I was with Arnold, right? And you know how I have my Mickey Ray-Ban sunglasses. He's like, so do you only wear those to Disney? Because that would be weird to wear that outside of Disney or something. And I was like, yes, I only wear them to Disney. Like stuff like that where non-Disney fans don't get it. Like, why do you have Disney sunglasses kind of thing? Like, so.
Yeah, and it's what's weird is it's not even weird. I think it's just like I get it because Disney is kind of a luxury thing. It like I said in the last podcast episode, it's expensive, and so a lot of people are just like, well, why would you go there all the time? To me, it's not really expensive when you do a breakdown, and then I've already.
And when you go into that rant, yeah.
I go into that whole rant. It's like, yeah, I have coworkers who go to Europe once a year for like $10,000. And it's like, I'm like, well, you know what I could do at Disney with $10,000? I can get an annual pass or a Magic Key. I could go get hotels, and I could go pretty much every other week if I wanted to.
Yeah.
That's what $10,000 gets me as far as entertainment throughout the year. $10,000 in Europe gets you 2 weeks, maybe, if you don't do anything too extravagant. So that's kind of the way I look at it. And as far as Disney's IP, like, the original content, the classic Disney stuff. We like Marvel, we like Star Wars, and even the new stuff that they come out with. I mean, there really isn't too many things that we don't like. And if we don't like, now we have this new family to debate it with.
Yeah.
And talk about it, whether it's on the podcast or in person. And it's just fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole experience is just fun. And it's kind of like, yeah. I think everyone needs something like that. So even if it's not Disney, find something, out there in the world that will attract you and put you into a group of like-minded people that are fun and positive, that can actually improve all areas of your life. I know that if we're talking on the podcast or if we're talking to, other content creators, my next day at work is going to be better, not worse, I know that I'm looking forward to going to Disneyland and even just talking or not even when we go, like when other people are going to go and do something, when they do a lot of people doing the challenges. I think Hannah's doing a challenge today or tomorrow. She's
going to try to ride every single ride.
Yeah.
And then she'll probably talk about it on her podcast. Yeah.
So it's going to be one of those things that I'm looking forward to the results of that. You know, it's kind of like, oh, what's going to happen? Like when I was a kid, like and you had to wait like for the next issue of a comic book. It's kind of like, so, and when you get older, it's kind of like exercise, right? When you're a kid, you really don't have to go join a gym. Like you just get exercise by running around with your friends and going to school and doing stuff. When you get older, you actually have to make a concerted effort. Yeah. You have to schedule time to actually get your physical health in and stuff. I think, and this is, again, coming from an HR person, and I'm always encouraging this, self-care is important. Having fun is a critical part of self-care. Positive energy is and surrounding yourself with positive people is a critical part of self-care. And Disney is kind of like a kit to do that for us. I mean, it's brought us a community, even outside of our family, even though we have family members who also participate. It's brought us a lot of content. And even though we would already watch like Marvel and Star Wars stuff, now we have people to discuss it with.
Yes.
It's even better than just watching it and enjoying it, just for itself.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really just, if you get anything from this rant, it's that I'm super thankful and appreciative of the Disney community. We'll talk about, the cast members a little bit. We got to hang out with one of our favorite cast members yesterday as well. And just the entire, from the cast members to the content creators to the business owners and just fans, just listeners, that we've met and had contact with over the last, how many years. And it's really enhanced our life. It's enhanced our marriage. We both have friends and, that we talk to even separately,
Yeah.
And I think that it's probably, if you have, if there's anything in life that you think that that's just kind of like, wow, I wonder what we do from here. It's like, you jump on board,
Yeah.
because these are some of the most welcoming and loving people that I've ever met, and it's cool because not everyone has the privilege of having, just being born into a super positive family, being born into a place where maybe they were picked on as kids or discriminated as against as kids or something like that, and just to be able to meet people from all different backgrounds, all different family types, and, and they all have this one thing in common that's this magical thread. Yeah, it's awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
So,
Pretty cool.
all right.
So we could talk about our day.
Okay.
Or wait, we have to really quickly. The winner of our regular monthly giveaway is Mrs. Miranda.
Mrs. Miranda.
That's her Instagram account, Mrs. Miranda. So congratulations.
And a lot of people don't understand why we didn't post, our monthly giveaway at the same time, because it's pretty much identical to the one we were giving away for Chalk. So we have
the
two.
prize is identical.
Yeah, the prizes. And we didn't want, they were still a little confusing, but so we were trying to separate them. But yeah, both giveaways contain the Loungefly Platinum backpack, ears, and Mickey plush.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is the Chalk one had the Splash Mountain metal sign, satisfactual sign that went along with it, because that was coinciding with the closing of Splash Mountain. So both giveaways are now ended, but yes, Miss Miranda won our listener giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
And we did post her name and already been in contact with her, and we'll be shipping those prizes out to you. And then we also did a live stream for the Chalk giveaway yesterday, and the Mandalorian won. And I kind of had a huge advantage because, the way we worked it is you get one entry for every $5 donated. And he gave enough to where he had 91 entries. so we
had this generous donor, anonymous donor,
generous donor
called the Mandalorian.
So basically, we're not mad at that because all this money goes directly to Chalk. Again, none of the money touches any of the creator's hands. Not me, not you, not Johnny, not Hannah. The link is directly to Chalk, and Children's Hospital of Orange County receives this, and ultimately that means children receive this money and the benefits of this money. So, and that's what we're all on board for.
Yep.
So, thank you and congratulations.
Yep. Thank you to all of you who donated.
Yeah.
Whether with the giveaway or without the giveaway. I know a lot of people also just donated when they heard about it because Children's Hospital of Orange County means a lot to them. So, Thank you.
Well done.
All right. So, okay, podcast mics for Magic Days. We started our trip on Monday, Memorial Day. And we stayed at the Grand Californian. We figured when I looked up rooms when Splash Mountain was announced, the last day of Splash was announced, I looked up rooms right away. And we saw that it wasn't much difference between Paradise Pier and Grand California because it was a weekday after a holiday.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just do the Grand.
Plus,
it's still your birthday month, and it's whatever. We'll
200th
celebrate.
Episode. It was like,
200th, so we'll celebrate. So we did the Grand. So we checked in, and we got a great view, even though it was only on the second floor. But we were right next to, right outside of, in our balcony, we can see the Grizzly River and Bear.
Mm-hmm.
And his name is actually Tim Burr, like Burr, Tim Burr.
Yeah.
And so, we stayed there, and then we met with Johnny. We figured the first, afternoon of the day, we met with Johnny, And it was really nice to meet him. Finally, he's like, "Yay!" He was really happy to see us. And then we figured, okay, we had dinner plans with him later, as you can hear from the
opening.
the opening that we had plans to go to Magic Key Terrace. But then we decided, okay, Johnny's never experienced the Disneyland version of Pirates.
Right.
So, and he knows that people were telling him like the Disneyland version.
And I think the last time he was at Disney, he was saying
it's closed. It was closed.
Was it closed? I don't know. There was one ride. I don't know if it was Pirates or something else, to where he said he didn't even want to try it because he wasn't impressed with the one in
Space Mountain.
Oh, was it Space Mountain? Okay, yeah.
And then yes, Emily and Clayton's like, no, you have to try Pirates here. It's far more superior than Disney World and also Space Mountain. And it happened to be Hyperspace Mountain this time. But anyways, so we were like, okay, let's walk over to across the way to do Pirates. But as we were walking over the Esplanade, we met with Hannah and Linda. Linda is Hannah's mom. And we met with Hannah and Linda as Hannah needed to give us our podcast Mics for Magic Splash Mountain t-shirts made by Concierge. So designed by, we'll talk about it later, designed by one of the content creators we met, Bree from Darling Dream Co., and she does t-shirt designs. So she designed it, but Concierge sponsored it.
Yep.
So
thank you very much for that.
Yeah, thanks for...
They came out great, by the way.
Yeah, there's like some Easter eggs, and we have some pictures that we posted with us in the t-shirts. So yeah, we met.
And I got
Hannah.
compliments on the t-shirts. You could see them.
Because
People
it's
kept coming up
different.
to me.
Because you can't
like,
buy it anywhere.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah.
Yeah, people kept coming up to me like, "Hey, nice shirt, nice shirt, nice
Yeah.
shirt." Anyway, one of them was Johnny, but yeah, but probably about 3 or 4 other people came up to me, and I was like, "Oh, cool,"
Yeah.
And it's funny because at Disneyland, it's kind of not hard to get compliments on what you're wearing, but like with a t-shirt, there's every type of Disney t-shirt is there. That's where you would go to see Disney t-shirts.
You'll see the same
so
things.
The fact that this still stood out amongst the Disney masses was cool.
Because it's not something that they saw on the Disney website or at the Disney store.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and it was the last day of Splash Mountain, so everybody who was there for that.
Yeah.
So, so we met with Hannah and Linda, and Hannah are both hilarious. They're really fun people to be around.
Linda's Hannah's mom.
Linda is Hannah's mom.
They're comedy.
They're so funny.
Pure comedy.
So like they only met at the Esplanade. They were on their way to downtown Disney. We met with them, and then we rode Pirates with Johnny. So it was his first time. He thought it was long, a little too long.
Yeah, he was just like, "Is this it?" Well, I think the first thing was he didn't know he would get wet.
Oh yes, so he knew there was a drop because at Disney World there's drops too, little drops, but he didn't think it would be wet because he heard that Splash Mountain here you get more wet, and he says that's as wet as the Disney World Splash Mountain.
Really? Ew.
But we were in front.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he got the big splash.
Yeah, so he got wet, and he thought the ride was long because I think at Disney World it's just the like 2 parts or something. There was one part that wasn't there. I forgot which it was. Because I know like somebody had ridden the Disney World one and thought, oh, that's it? We get off now? Like it was really short. So like he's like, maybe a little too long, but yes, he does think it's better. I mean, I don't know if he said, but he said he liked it, but a little too long. And then we headed to the Magic Key Terrace. Yeah. And that's where Johnny recorded the little intro that we had played. Magic Key Terrace was cool. We had something new, but we'll talk about that later, like in another episode. And then we another first for Johnny was Goofy Sky School.
Yeah, because he likes rides that he likes real roller coasters, and he thinks that's what's missing from like Walt Disney World.
Yeah, he likes
because we have the Incredicoaster, and we have a couple. He likes things that have big drops
and loops, real roller coaster.
Yeah,
so like Incredicoaster is one of his favorite rides. I think he might have said it is out of both Disney parks his favorite.
Yeah, we
'Cause
could
I
we
thought-
could debate him with that because that's weird. But yeah,
Well, because
I think
he's
it's
old
Guardians.
school roller coaster.
Yeah, he likes Guardians. I think is his number
Yes,
one.
he likes Guardians. Because I thought that I asked him, I thought Rock and Roller Coaster is a roller coaster, and he's like, not even, because that's more like kind of like our Space Mountain here, just loop, not
With
no
music.
loop de loops.
Yeah, no big drops.
Yeah,
because
no-
it's inside.
So Goofy Sky School,
But
I don't
Sky
know what he
School has-
thought.
Well, he liked it because it does have a drop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said, "Yeah, it felt like I was being thrown off the edge." That's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's what it meant. You're supposed to feel like you're getting thrown off the edge. So
Yeah.
it's a totally different effect than a lot of roller coasters, but it's probably one of the most underrated rides I think at Disneyland.
I love that ride.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are terrified of it. They like Guardians, but they're terrified of Goofy Sky School. I'm the opposite.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Those are crazy people.
So, and then we made him go on the Little Mermaid, even though there's one at Disney World. So,
Yeah. Well, because we were trying to head up, so we just wanted something quick before
Yeah.
we headed up to the terrace.
yeah, so there's a terrace at the Grand California. It's called the Paradise Pier Terrace. And I think it was before, it was just somewhere a rooftop type of terrace for people who stay at the hotel to get a view of the entire Paradise Pier, now known as Pixar Pier.
Yeah.
And then, there was stuff on social media that said, oh, you can watch World of Color from this terrace. And you do need to swipe your room key to get into the terrace. So we thought, let's take Johnny up there. And we went up there, and it's not a secret anymore because, of course, anything on social media is not a secret because it's on social media. Everybody,
Yeah.
follows,
And you know what? I know it seemed like it was crowded. It wasn't crowded. It was
No.
just everybody was against the front roiling.
Yeah.
So even if you only have like 20 people there, if they're all in the front, it seems crowded because you can't see.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it was. How do I put this? Because you told me to be nice about this.
Well, no. It wasn't what we expected because, of course, World of Color, it's a projection show. And so you can't see the projections from up high and to the side,
Yeah.
right? So that's
It's just because it's being reflected off water.
right.
So it's not like if it was reflected on a movie screen, you could still see it.
Yeah.
But water is it's a prism.
Yeah.
So it's like any other prism, if you get an angle, you're not going to be able to see it correctly.
Yeah.
So and we were in the terraces to the far right of all the projections.
Yes.
Of the presentation. So when you call it the World of Color Terrace, that's just stupid because
It's not. It's called Paradise Pier Terrace.
no.
It's just a view of the park.
Yeah, and I think unofficially that's what people call it because that's what people go up there to do.
Yes.
I don't
And there
know
were
how
people,
many
that
people.
did, but it was all little kids,
Mhm.
and to them, that's why the kid in the elevator was like, "Let's go see the light show."
Yeah,
And now I know why he said it was a light show. To them, it's just a light show.
yeah. From there, all it is a light show.
Yeah. So I was like, what's this kid talking about? Light show? I guess if that's what he calls it. But now I know what he means by it's
Yeah.
a light show.
He's right.
So to kids, to little kids, it's cool. Like, whoa, and all
Yeah.
that.
Well, if they haven't seen World of Color
Exactly.
on
yeah.
the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their parents don't want to get them down. I was like, let's go up there and look at the light show.
Yeah.
And that's what they
that
they
is
all
a-
enjoyed it.
There's a very good gaslighting technique because if they're staying at the Grand and you need a key to get in, so
Yeah.
it is kind of exclusive, kind of hard to find.
Yes.
Because we had to ask like 2 people, I think, because it's on the 6th floor and it's just,
Yeah.
whatever. But if you're a parent and you just want your kid to see something, one more thing at
Colorful.
Disney before they go to bed,
Yeah.
and you're staying in the hotel,
Yeah.
you could take them up there. You could say, hey, look at the light show. And it
And
is a
then
light
there's
show.
songs that they know.
There's songs,
Yeah.
and then you put them to bed.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's what they were. They were like happy to see the light show.
yeah.
So we told Johnny, okay, you really have to see this up close. He's going
Yeah.
to the parks by himself, and I think with Hannah. But
And they turned off the fire. I forgot about that.
yes, they turned on fire because of the
The
dragon.
dragon.
So all fires are turned off until they figure out what
Till
happened.
further notice.
Yeah. So, we did that, and then we kind of ended the night because we knew we had a big day tomorrow, but we kind of ended the night at like 10 or
Yeah.
something.
Which is a big day for me.
Yeah. Well, we had an early day the next day.
Yeah.
So the podcast Mics for Magic team, mostly Johnny, Hannah, and Linda, Hannah's mom, Linda, wanted to rope drop. But not only did they want to rope drop, they wanted to be the first ones at the gate so that they can just hop onto Splash Mountain right away. Because Johnny saw the craziness at Disney World on the last day of Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
And he had a feeling it's going to be the same here. So they were at the gate by 6 a.m. And Johnny took a picture of the harbor entrance, the security harbor side of the entrance. And it was closed off. And I've never seen it like that because I've never been there that early. So the security line wasn't even open yet. It was gated off when he was there. And yeah, they were the first at the gate and also the first at the rope to Adventureland to get to Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
We didn't make it that early.
No.
Well, you didn't either. I tried to do early entry, but I didn't make it. I got there at 8, right when they dropped the rope. And you stayed in the room to sleep a little bit, sleep in.
Had a tummy ache.
Yeah, you had a tummy ache. So I went ahead and went at 8, and I tried to catch them at the drop, but I think I missed it. There was a video of me with them after the drop, I think. But then later on, I realized that's before the drop, after we went on the ride. Because we
Yeah.
never go on Splash Mountain, so I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, man, I should have waited. That was before the drop. Anyways. So I met up with them after they went on Splash Mountain. This was like 8 o'clock or 8:10, 8:15. And yeah, it was a madhouse at Splash Mountain in the morning.
Not nearly compared to what it was at night, but yeah.
Yes, not nearly. But the line was all the way at 8 a.m. or 8:10 all the way to where Pirates was. So, yeah, so I met up with the Johnny, Hannah, and Linda, and Jordan from Disneyland Forever. He was part of the podcast Mics for Magic team too. He has a podcast. Him and his husband has a podcast called Disneyland, the number 4 ever. And you spell Disneyland without the A. So we rode Haunted Mansion because it was just, when it says 13 minutes, that means it's a walk-on. So we rode Haunted Mansion and Pirates, and then you joined us after Pirates. And then we all had breakfast at Jolly Holiday. We mobile ordered breakfast. Had breakfast at Jolly Holiday, and that's when Elisa joined us. And she's the co-host with Hannah on the Learning Disney podcast. And her company and Instagram is called Bashfully Ever After. And she's the one who makes the bracelets.
And you got a bracelet.
And I got a bracelet from her because
You bought one, and then you got a free one.
I bought the bracelets, and you all saw the post. The bracelets were from her company. She made those, and then she was so nice. Yeah, she gave me free bracelets, and those are the bracelets she gives away when you donate $100 or more to Chalk, and you would just have to contact her and say you donated. You were the person who was there, and she'll send you a bracelet.
It was pretty cool. A little
Yeah.
Mickey with the blue. I liked it a lot.
So we had breakfast there, and then we all headed over to Single Rider Hyperspace. And
Which I've never done. This is the first single rider I've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've never done that. We're like, sure, let's just go. Oh, and you grabbed a Genie Plus. At 9 a.m., you booked a Genie Plus for Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
And we got a 7 p.m. return time.
Yeah.
So we were like,
because we were gonna do it at least once. We have to do it once because Splash Mountain's not our ride.
Yeah.
We did it once before, and we're like, that's enough.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, it's the last day. We're here for Chalk. We're here with everybody for Splash Mountain. We have to ride it. So
yeah.
I'm glad I did because if we didn't do that, we wouldn't be getting on it.
Yeah. So it was worth it to get Genie Plus just for that. But I was like, 7 p.m., it's already a cold day. And it was kind of raining when they were going on it the first time.
Oh, yeah, it rained in the morning.
It
was
rained
drizzling.
in the morning.
And
yeah.
even though it was nothing in the forecast about rain.
Yes. There was still nothing. So, yes, we did Single Rider, and that's when Erica joined us. And Erica's Instagram is the feminist princess. She joined us on Hyperspace Single Rider, and it was pretty quick. Do you think it's like 15 minutes? I wasn't really paying attention because I was busy talking. You know when you go with other people and you're just chatting away.
Yeah,
and you
it was
realize...
pretty quick. It was pretty quick. And it's the funny thing is I didn't even know where the single rider entrance was. I didn't know you go down there.
Yeah, no. Christina had told me about it because
Yeah.
she and Kevin does that.
Yeah.
So she told me it's where the exit is.
Mhm.
So just go through
Yeah,
there.
I mean I know now, but it's like I was like I would if somebody would have asked me before, I'd be like, I don't
Oh,
know.
well, then you could ask me and I'll tell them.
See, this is about talking about getting your significant others involved in podcasting. You see their personalities come out. It's good for them as far as expressing themselves, or it could be
Well,
good
'cause
for
you never pay
it's good for your
attention to
defense
anything.
when you tell, hey, my wife yells at me, and no one believes you.
Well, you don't pay attention to anything people tell. And I'm like, yes, I already know that. Like when you're sending me some tips or whatever, and I'm like, yes, I already know, and I told you, and you didn't listen.
I listen.
So, anyways, yes, Single Riders Hyperspace was really fun. It was another first for Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
And what he was saying is their Space Mountain in Disney World is like our Matterhorn, where it's that like bumpy, break your back,
Yeah.
sitting on the floor.
Yeah, when he
type of
said that,
thing.
I was like, really?
Oh, that's why you don't like it.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you think of this? And
Yeah.
he's like, oh, like it, he thought it was smooth and I don't know. He didn't seem as like, whoa, yeah, that is better. So that's what I expected, but he's like, it's cool. I don't know if he was trying to be cool about it, but
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
from Massachusetts. He can't show too much enthusiasm.
he's like, it was cool.
He only does that for things he loves.
Give him a few days, and he'll
He's
be
in
like,
sales,
okay,
you
yes,
You're not going to get the deal if you're too desperate. You know what I mean?
He's like, it's cool. I was like, that's all. I was like, I thought you were gonna be like, oh man.
We did, and everyone kind of was having a debate around this too. And I forget who was involved, but like, it was said that like some people think the hyperspace what do you call it?
Layover.
Layover, yeah. Is the best thing ever, and it should be permanently Hyperspace Mountain. And some people are just like, it's too much of, I think Jordan was saying it was too.
In the beginning, it was too
much.
lit up.
Yeah,
And it kind of ruins
takes
because
effect
you
from
kind of see
tunnel.
the track or whatever.
Yeah,
And then afterwards, it was good again.
yeah.
But in the regular Space Mountain, everything's just
It's
dark.
just dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can see that. And then I guess they said in Paris it's always Hyperspace Mountain. There's
Oh,
just,
really?
Yeah, that's just it. There's no Space Mountain. So,
Oh.
but it has a different trajectory.
Something like it shoots you off or
into
something.
the thing.
Yeah.
So that kind of works with the theming. But yeah, I mean, I like both. I miss Ghost Galaxy. Ghost Galaxy was
that
cool too.
didn't come back this time. Yeah.
So,
So afterwards, we at the exit we met up with two more new friends. We met with the Moms with Magic crew. So Haley and Bethany. So Haley is Moms with Magic crowns, which is the crowns that we took a picture of, or we posted a picture of me with the ladies in the crowns. And then Bethany is Moms with Magic travels, and she does she has her own little travel business.
Yep.
And they also had goodie bags for us that was cute. It had like a shower cap in it. And candy and a cool Mickey keychain. So we all
oh yeah, we did goodie bags too. We did stickers.
we did stickers and we did the podcast mics for Magic
Bags, yeah.
bags to the splash bags. We did Splash Mountain stickers and we put in our sticker and magnet and button in there too. So then we all rode Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway together with all of us, a group of
Yeah.
11.
Because when I looked at it, it was 25 minutes, but by the time we got over there, it was 45, but then it ended
Only
up being 30.
Yeah, it only took a few minutes.
It's weird.
Plus, when you're with a group of people, you're all just talking and catching up, and you
Yeah.
don't realize you're already at the front of the line.
Mhm.
Next thing you know, so yeah, it was nice to meet them as well. They're really sweet.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, and their little daughter came with them, and she was really cute.
Super cute.
Yeah. So
Super like when they're taking pictures, she's posing and it's
Yeah. Yeah. So
except when I wanted her to pose, and then she would turn away.
yeah. So it was cute. It was nice to catch up with, like you said, fellow Disney friends who are Disney adults too. And even though they have children and they go with their kids too, but this was their time to just
Yeah.
go without the kids. So yes, so we all rode, group of 11 all rode Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Then afterwards, when we got off the ride, we met with Bree from Darling Dream Co., and she was the one who designed the T-shirts. We met with her. She had her little baby with her, and that's when you and I were like, okay, it's time for us to go take our nap.
Well,
So
we actually had to do a drawing.
Oh, yes. We went back to the room to do the giveaway drawing and then took our nap. After our nap, we went to Soaring, and we had a lightning lane for Soaring.
Yep.
Then
But on
we
our way to Soaring, we ran into Sunny.
ran into Sunny. He's like, oh, I just got off my shift, and I'll meet you at Disneyland,
Yep.
So after Soaring, we went over to Disneyland, just chilled. You chilled on the bench, or not a bench, but
The concrete
concrete
fence.
next to the
Where the
Rivers of
band is
America.
playing behind
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Next to that, that walkway next to the rivers. I think it's still called Rivers of America. So we sat there, had popcorn, and Sunny
It's
Sunny
called
showed up.
King's Landing now.
Huh?
It's probably called King's Landing
Yeah,
now.
right, where the dragon caught fire. So we hung out and talked to Sunny there for a while. And then we headed back to
'Cause they want to do a
Main
parade.
Street. They all wanted to do a parade and like sort of a group
Watch the
photo,
parade.
but some of the group wasn't there. They were like getting food or doing other things. But yeah, we got there. And Tim and Audrey-Ann saved a spot for all of us to watch the parade on Main Street.
Awesome.
Tim and Audrey-Ann, their podcast is called Dreaming of Disney Podcast. So if you want to find them on Instagram, they're Dreaming of Disney Podcast, but there's a period after each word. So that's how you can find them on Instagram. But that's their podcast, and they saved us a spot. And so we were able to, they have 4 kids, but they left them all at home. Just the 2 of them doing Disney for this Splash Mountain send-off thing. And they kind of did what we did. They took a nap in the middle of the day, and then they came back later.
Exactly. But see, that makes us seem like we don't even have kids. We don't have
we do that.
we don't burn out our energy throughout the week, and we still take naps. And then,
And they rope dropped. We don't rope drop, and we still take naps. Yeah, even then, like, I think Haley was making fun of you as you were, like, sitting on the bench, and she's like, I thought you took a nap. Why are you sitting?
Right. But out of everyone, besides Linda, and I don't want to count Linda because she's just got super energy, but I was the oldest. I'm the oldest out of all of them.
Yes, I am too.
I'm the no. You're
I'm
almost
just
a
not
millennial.
older than you.
You're almost a you're a cusper. You're almost one
Whatever.
of them. You're almost a millennial.
No.
I'm the only Xer. I'm the only X-Man.
So, yes, so we watched the Magic Happens parade, and Hannah, Bree, and Elisa and Jordan are hilarious. They knew all the words to the song, and they were dancing along to the parade. They're like the hype people for the parade. And all the characters came up to them because they were dancing and singing along and so animated. So it was like so funny because that's like their favorite thing.
Should we call it Hannah-mated?
Animated, yes. They were animated. But yes, they were like so funny. Yeah, it was our first time watching the parade. Oh, and Sunny came with us to watch the parade with us. And we introduced Sunny to everybody.
I introduced him as, hey, this is our cast member friend.
Yeah, and everyone was like, cast member friend, do you have a name?
Come, Sunny. Yeah, sorry, guys. I thought that was the most important thing.
Yes. Yes, they were asking questions
the
about
magic.
like Splash, and he's like, "Yeah, they're probably not going to close it early, but it hasn't broken down throughout the day, so they may close it early, but they may, whatever." Yeah. So after the parade, which was our first time, and I enjoyed the parade.
That was good.
I don't know if it's because we were with people who were dancing along to it that made it fun, or if you and I were just standing there watching it, we'd be like, "Meh," I don't know, like.
Well, I think that because we have our favorite, we have Paint the Night, and even Sunny said they people keep saying it's going to come back, but there's no date to
Yeah.
anything, and that's our number
That's
one.
his favorite too.
That's our standard, right?
Mhm.
And so, and then I think the other one, I forget the one that they used to do all the time. It's a Disney celebration. Oh, I forget the name of it. With Mickey at the beginning. That one.
But
is-
didn't Magic Happens replace that one?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but I'm saying that was probably my second.
Oh,
favorite.
I see.
And so everything, even the Christmas parade and everything, that was below that. You know what I mean? Although the Oogie Boogie one was probably because I wasn't expecting much, I probably rate it higher because it exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, this one, the characters were dancing. I mean, Donald was like twerking in front of Hannah. Like, I was like, I got a video of that. And I think Elisa's going to post it, so I don't want to post it yet. So it was like funny.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and sometimes the company you're with makes things
Yeah.
it just makes things more fun exponentially. So.
Yeah, they're fun Disney people. We're just like the boring, like, oh, can I just sit at Sonoma Terrace Disney people?
We're to chill, like, give me a beer, let me sit down.
But, okay, so after the parade, it was time for us to do our punishment at Splash Mountain.
I would consider it punishment, but
Dude, it was like cold.
yeah,
I hate being cold. That's the thing.
yeah.
And I don't like the drop. So that was punishment for me. So when
yeah,
we
you
got
don't
there,
like the drop because you have a habit of saying we don't like this or we don't like
you
that.
said you don't like drops when I first met you. That's why we don't
no,
go
I
Splash
don't
Mountain.
like Guardians drops. I don't like being dropped straight down.
Well, I don't like that either.
Yeah, I don't like.
Well, what about Incredicoaster?
Yeah, I told you I'm gonna start going on that again. I don't mind that. I just don't like just straight down like.
We can
ooh.
go on that at night because then it makes me sick. So then I can just
like
go to sleep.
Superman at Magic Mountain. Like, that was bad. That was just
Yeah,
like,
I don't like any drop.
Yeah.
But I like Incredicoaster. It's just that the last time I went on it with Christina, I just was nauseous the whole day. So I don't know if I can do it anymore. I'll do it at night.
Yeah, I'm older than you, and you always act older than me.
I can't help it. My body just feels like that afterwards.
Whatever.
I don't know. But anyways,
We're gonna take you to NASA and put you into the centrifugal force
yeah,
machine.
no, forget. I'll throw up.
Nah, it'd be good training.
So Splash Mountain at 7:00 for us. We got there about 7:15. You had bought ponchos,
Mhm.
and I was like, no, I don't want to do ponchos. If I'm gonna be punished, I'd rather just whatever. But then at the end, while I was in line, I'm like, fine, I'll put on a poncho. So and we were talking with our friends, and they were saying, if you sit in the back, you won't get wet. Sit in
As
the
wet,
front,
yeah.
you're
You're gonna get
gonna get drenched for sure. And I was like, okay, well, if I wear a poncho, then it doesn't matter where I sit. That's what I thought. I wore the poncho, and then I changed into my flip-flops because I don't like having wet socks. And then, so sure enough, they're like, take rows 1 and 2. And I was like, oh, man. Okay, well, I have a poncho, so it's okay. And then you sat in row 2 because you couldn't fit your feet, right?
Well, I
Your
didn't know. It
legs.
looked like it was a smaller space. So
It
I
was
like,
smaller.
Okay, but you also had the GoPro, so I was like,
Yeah.
you might as well be. In
Oh
the
yeah, I
first
have my
spot.
GoPro because
Yeah.
I didn't want to take my phone out because it might
Oh.
ruin it. So, and a GoPro is cheaper than an iPhone.
Yeah, that's
so.
why I keep telling people. People think, man, all these people these content creators, they bring these GoPros and these cameras. Those things are like $500. I'm like, an iPhone's $1,000.
Yeah.
Which one would you rather use? Like,
And a GoPro's an action camera and waterproof.
yeah.
It's meant for
It's
like,
meant for that.
surfing or whatever, you
yeah,
know.
people taking it underwater.
Yeah.
So
So that's why I was like, okay, this is like the brushing off my GoPro after 4 or 5 years. I don't know if I'll ever be, have the energy to just post it, but we'll see. Anyways, so I had the GoPro. I was holding it the whole time. And then the first drop, which is a smaller drop,
Mhm.
the first drop was the one that got me soaked. Through the poncho, the water went through the poncho, through the side.
Well, I think it comes down and goes up.
Yeah, it goes up.
It's like a
back
wave.
Up, a
Yeah.
wave. So it drenched my shirt,
Mm-hmm.
my face, my hair was all wet as if I just took a shower. And so I was like, what the heck? Glad I wore my flip flops, but then my backpack was soaked through. Yeah. So I'm glad I brought those podcast mics for Magic bags.
Yeah.
Because I had put everything in the bag before I put it in my backpack.
Yep.
So everything was soaked. I was like, ugh. And you can hear me in the camera. I'm like, ugh, good riddance, Splash Mountain. Like, I don't care if you close.
Hey, it's still gonna be a drop. They're not getting rid of the mountain.
I know, but it's like, ugh. I was so mad. My GoPro, you could see me like wiping the water off the lens. And then, yeah, so, but it was a fun ride. I just wish it was 100 degrees so I could just
you
dry off.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we had a hotel right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I thought it was great. People probably can't tell from the look on my face in the picture, but
I know. Yeah, I didn't like that drop at all.
yeah, it's you know what, and it's one of those things. It's like you don't know what you got till it's gone. It's like
Yeah.
This
it's
was a
like,
pretty
oh,
cool
man,
ride.
Why didn't we write that before?
why don't we ride it more often?
All these times when we were staying on property, we could have just
We're
ridden
sorry,
it.
Mr. Baxter, who was there.
Who was there? We saw Tony Baxter. Like, we saw him once, but then people saw him like 2-3 times because he was going back and forth,
Yeah.
like riding it multiple times, I guess. So yeah, so I was drenched and mad. You said, "Oh, I'll buy you a sweatshirt," and I was like, "No, I want to go to the room and change because if I put on a sweatshirt, everything underneath is still wet. The backpack's wet, so
Yeah.
it's like, no, I just want to go to the room and change." And you didn't want to go to the room because you might just stay in the room. So we decided to.
It's the laws of physics, Something in motion stays in motion. Something at rest will
Yes.
stay at rest.
Oh, and I forgot to mention that they closed the single rider line at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
because at one point the single rider wait was longer than the standby wait.
Yeah.
And the standby did get up to 240 minutes. Was that the longest?
It got up to 280 at one point, and I
Oh,
think
wow.
it was over 300 at closing,
Oh, wow.
park closing.
So at 7 p.m. they closed the single rider. Like
Yeah.
when we got on, they were like,
Yeah,
no
we
more
went
single
on
rider.
Winnie the Pooh right after because it was right there.
Yeah. When Winnie the Pooh, soaking wet,
Got some snacks, Pooh's Corner.
got some snacks, and then went back to, we went to Naples for dinner.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if you want to go back to the room, we'll
Yeah,
just
you could. We
I'll sit there and
order.
order,
You
and-
order, and I go back to the room and change. I brought you back a jersey to put on
Yep.
in case you were cold. I changed and went back. Met you, had dinner at Naples.
still
then-
best pizza.
Yeah,
I love
it's
Naples.
still good. And then we walked back to Splash Mountain to meet with Tim and Audrienne from Dreaming of Disney podcast because they were standing there with their hot cocoa and cheering,
yeah.
And then, yeah, it was crazy when we went back at
I
10
did a-
p.m.
I did a live stream of the
Yeah.
line, and I walked, and it took me a while.
Yeah.
And the line was tripled up. So
Yeah.
it was like everything I would show people, I don't know if they could see it from the vantage point I was showing, but that was 3 deep sideways.
Yeah.
So all that walking, and then it stops, and then it goes into the other line.
Yeah.
And that was when Lightning Lane had to shut down at that point.
Lightning Lane shut down. The line shut down.
Mhm.
No more new at 10
But when
p.m.
we got there, yeah.
Yeah, no more new. The standby line was shut down.
Yeah.
At 10. Then we knew Lightning Lane was shut down, or they were done with Lightning Lane when the standby line started moving faster then
Yeah.
afterwards. And then they kind of had people just not walk across the bridge anymore where the splash drop is. They just had them going one way because they anticipated everyone's going to be standing there, cheering on the last few drops. So, it was a madhouse. Like, it was my first time experiencing a
closing,
ride
yeah.
closure
Yeah.
day because we usually avoid openings and closings of things at Disneyland. So it was a cool experience. Afterwards, we all met up with the rest of the team. Johnny wanted to do another team picture in front of the partner statue.
Mhm.
We all were there except Jordan. He had to leave because he had an early flight the next day.
Again, this is what I'm telling you about. We're not a tips and tricks and hacks channel, and that's why we are definitely a news channel. And you can see that transition over the years
Yes.
because, that they're a different breed.
Yeah, they are really good at content creating and
Not only content
tips and
creating, just the
tricks.
energy. Like, people flying out at 6 a.m. and driving back
Well,
to
Audrey
NorCal.
and Tim had to leave
Yeah, 6.
drive
and
at
then-
6 in the
and
morning to
then-
Fresno
Yeah, and it was
the
just,
next day, but they were there till closing because
Yeah.
they're like, okay,
they're
well,
hardcore.
yeah.
I'm like, can we leave before fireworks? Like, that's me.
I know, like the moms with magic, the moms that we met, they had to drive all the way back to Santa Clarita, which is about the same distance as us going to San Diego that night. So they were like, "Oh, have a safe trip to your room." Like they were kind of jealous of us. Here we are complaining, and they're like, "Oh, we got to drive an hour and a half home now."
Yeah.
They were exhausted.
Well,
So, yeah, so it was a great time meeting everyone, and it was a really good celebration of Splash and our 200th episode.
and chalk.
And
So that was
Chalk.
what brought us all together. Look forward to more, such, fundraisers, events, and efforts in the future.
Yeah, they
So,
were talking about maybe when Tiana's Bayou opens, we'll do another get together. And Johnny's like, "Well, this time you guys are flying to me." It's like, do we have to go to Disney World?
Yeah. I mean, what do you mean flying to you? You don't live in Florida. You live in Massachusetts.
I know, but it's a shorter flight for him. I was like, well, can we do it like a month after it opens instead of on opening day?
Yeah. Well,
Anyways, they were just talking, but we'll see.
we will see.
It may get us excited for the. So yeah, that was our day. It's a lot.
All right.
It's Taste Talk with Tracy. Mash some magic in your mouth.
All right. So the raspberry rose Mickey macaron. Or rune. It's not a macaroon. That's the coconut one. Anyways. So everybody loves this dessert from the Jolly Holiday.
Not everybody.
That's what I found out this trip, that not everyone it's controversial, actually. But everybody I talked to is like, have you tried that yet? You've got to try that. So I bought it. And then Hannah and Linda and her mom, Linda, was like, it's trash. And then Jordan was arguing, you're trash. It's not trash. You're trash. And then I was like, really? Is this that controversial? Like, no, it's horrible.
By the way, listen to Jordan. I can
And-
listen to Jordan and Hannah for an hour.
Yeah.
Easily. Just them
They
talking.
should do a podcast together.
They don't even need to do a podcast. They could just talk over the phone and record it, and it'd be hilarious.
Yeah. So then, but when I was like, well, I bought it just to, we were actually having breakfast, and I only bought it because everybody's telling me I should buy it. And so I was like, all right, well, now's my chance. So I bought it to save it for later. But then now that everyone's arguing about it, I was like, okay, let me take a bite. And it was so much pressure because while I was taking a bite of it, everyone was looking at me just to see what I thought, my reaction. So I was getting nervous. I'm like, this is pressure. And everyone's like, oh, looking at me, biting it and stuff. And so my first bite, I thought it wasn't bad. It was okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not a macaron person, so I don't really
You
indulge
gave
in
it a
macaron.
7.5 out of 10.
7.5 out of 10. It was good. The raspberry, for me, I don't like things super sweet. So the tartness of the raspberry evened it out. And most people probably don't like that. They rather just have it a straight macaron without the fruits.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's that controversial because it's only Hannah and her mom who don't like it. Out of the polling, the unofficial polling.
Unofficial bowling.
Yeah, so yeah, it's basically raspberry rose, almond filling, and fresh raspberries.
Yeah.
But yes, you do have to eat it right away because I took a bite out of the ear and then I saved it for that night. And that night at the bottom, because of the fruit filling, it was watery, so it made the bottom really soggy.
Yeah.
So if you get it, you do have to eat it right away.
Don't save your food, people. It's Disney. Eat it all at once.
No. So, yep, that was the taste talk.
All right.
So really quickly, as we were getting home, Disney made an announcement just as we got home that Halloween time events were announced. And starting September 1st, all the Halloween decorations throughout Disneyland Resort will be up. Plaza de la Familia at DCA will be up. Haunted Mansion Holiday and Jack Skellington Meet and Greet is going to be available. Guardians, Mission Break, Monsters After Dark. We'll have that overlay. And then Oogie Boogie Bash. The dates for those are up. Go to Disney Parks blog or the Disneyland website to see the specific dates that we'll have Oogie Boogie Bash. It's going to be September 5th through October 31st. And tickets will go on sale for Magic Key holders on June 27th, 9 a.m. Pacific. And then tickets for the general public is June 29th, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
So there's a pre-sale for Magic Key holders.
And which did they have the days out?
Yeah, the days are out. You go on Disneyland.com/Oogie Boogie Bash to see the specific dates.
I wonder if it's going to sell out super quick this year.
Did it last year?
I thought it was, and then it didn't.
The Saturday dates did. Well, there was only one Saturday date.
Yeah, they had the D23 date, and then we got the other date. Or did we get? No,
we got
went
the
on
D23 date
Yeah,
because we only go on Saturday. We usually don't go to After Dark events because they're on weekdays only.
That's right.
So,
yeah. You know me about my PTO.
you save them.
Gotta save them, man. Otherwise, you're paying double.
Yeah.
It's like paying interest on a credit card.
Yeah.
It's like
well, I think you're paying double for these events anyways. Because if you already have a Magic Key, why are you paying again to get in?
Well, it is a different experience. I mean, whether or not you like the experience, that's debatable, right? But you think that the experience is worth the extra money. But it is something at Disney parks that you're not going to get with just a regular ticket.
Right.
It's not like just an after-hours event where they keep it open and nothing special happens.
Yeah, I mean, we went for the first time last year, and I thought it is a different event because you get the trails and the character meet and greets and, villains out there. I don't know if I want to do it again, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to think about it. But I have changed my opinion on it. I don't think that it's like a redundant cost. I think that if you don't think it's worth it, that's fine. If and if people think it's worth it, that's fine. I just don't think, because I guess my mindset used to be what you just said. Like, if you have a Magic Key or annual pass back in the day, why would you just pay more to be at Disney later? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is an entirely different experience than you're getting, in the park in the daytime. It's an event.
I mean,
and they have shows and
they
the
have
people
shows
singing
and
the
parades.
The parade is totally different.
The parade's different. You can walk on rides, but then again, why would you do that when you're,
Yeah.
Magic Key holder? I would say the stuff that's
I mean,
the
I
Oogie
had fun.
Boogie. I had fun.
Yeah.
The Oogie Boogie experience and the Villains Grove experience was a good, different experience, but it was still too crowded for me to experience. The Oogie Boogie one was fine. The Villains Grove one was still too crowded for me to enjoy. So if you're going to make me pay, there better be only 5 people in there. Just kidding. I just want exclusive because I couldn't see anything.
Well, then they're going to have to charge a lot more.
Fine, but I couldn't see anything. So why am I paying extra to look at a bunch of people's heads?
Well, you're short.
So,
I can see everything.
Yeah, I'm not going to go again because I don't want to.
Do you want like a short person's like special bonus? Like you only get to.
No, I just want 5 people in there
You're
so
like
I can see everything.
You like half a person, so you only want to pay 50%.
And then they were rushing me because they're like, "Oh, go, go, go!" I'm like, "Well, then what's the point of looking at this if I'm just going to walk through it?" You
almost got another Disney security person on you that day.
Yeah, because I'm like,
angry.
no, I'm not going to go. I paid extra. I'm going to stand here and you're going to walk around me. Walk around me if you want to go. That's what I said. I'm like, well, walk around. Jeez. It's like, you're holding up the line. I'm like, well, that's what this is meant for.
People wonder how fights start. Starts with chat.
I'm going to stand here. If you influencers can put your camera right there in front of me, then I'm going to stand here too and look at my thing and, get my $175 worth.
What, the extra Reese's Pieces wasn't worth it? $175?
No. I could buy a 5-pound bag of candy at Costco for $10.99. I don't need to pay $175 for candy. So, anyways, the point is, if you want to go this year, I said you can go by yourself.
See? And if you never started a podcast, people wouldn't know this side of you. They would think, oh, that's this sweet Tracy. She's so helpful.
Yes, I'm helpful. I'm telling you, if you want to go
She's so
Oogie Boogie
bright and
Bash,
shiny.
just
Yeah.
and
So-
that's us staying at Paradise Pier across the street.
And
Right. And then you made me carry the stupid heavy
didn't
bag of candy everywhere. I'm like, oh.
I thought you wanted to get the Oogie Boogie experience.
Yes, I liked the Oogie Boogie experience, but only because somebody told me to do that first and get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Don't wait till nighttime. You
Mhm.
know, just get that out of the way, and then But the Villains Grove, I was mad about. I was like, oh, screw this.
Ah,
You know.
I didn't even understand what it was because I thought the Villains Grove had villains. It's just their layers.
Their layers and
Yeah.
you didn't understand what it is because there's people's heads in front of
No,
you.
but I thought there was going to be like characters in there. So I
no,
was just like,
the character meet and greet is something else because
Yeah.
that's like another hour
Yeah.
wait for each thing.
so
Yeah.
to me, I was like, But I still had fun. I liked the Oogie Boogie thing. I liked meeting what's her name, Maleficent. The thing, the thing about the Oogie Boogie experience is some things are just empty.
Yeah, those are the treat trails.
The treat trails, like some trails are
Yeah,
empty,
some trails
and some
are
trails
empty.
are packed.
Yeah.
So
So then you, the meet and greet is what Caitlin told me to skip because those are the ones that are like 1-2 hour waits.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's when you
with the
meet them
photos
and
and-
photo.
Mm.
And the one that was popular the year we went was the Hocus Pocus. Mickey and Donald, Minnie and Daisy.
I still haven't watched number 2.
I know. So that was popular last
Two
year and
things
it
I
closed out.
hate. Guacamole, Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
Hocus Pocus guacamole.
But the Cruella one was cool. That wasn't a
Yeah.
meet and greet though. That was a walkthrough. That's
Yeah.
why it's possible to do that.
But the movie had just come out that year, so it was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So, all right. And the next dot points is the Little Mermaid box office numbers. So,
They're all over the place. People are reporting different things.
yeah, I think it depends on when. So, after opening weekend, which was May 29th, not counting May 29th,
Mm-hmm.
it was $95.5 million domestic and $185.8 million worldwide,
Yeah, including domestic.
including domestic. And this didn't count May 29th, which was a holiday,
Mhm.
and most people go to the movies on a holiday. So the numbers will be much higher after
Yeah,
May
I think they
29th.
went up to 118. But then different sites are reporting different things. But ultimately, I guess it did pretty well.
It is the currently number one movie,
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
box office wise.
Because it depends on what you're going up against. I think it
Yeah.
knocked off, Fast and Furious 10. I mean, which is pretty. Yeah, it gets good numbers. But I'm saying sometimes it could be a Hocus Pocus that you're knocking off. Who cares?
Yeah.
But I think that
It's not like it's going on against Marvel or
or Avatar or something. Yeah. But it is the 5th, I guess, highest Memorial Day thing, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And it is one of the best remakes.
Mm.
So I don't know which one it was, Memorial Day or whatever.
It was Aladdin that.
Aladdin beat it, I think.
Yeah.
So I guess for a remake that, we just found out, these past few days, some people hate. It did really well.
Mm.
But we'll see. I think, we'll definitely see it. Whether we see it in the theaters or not is the only debate. I'm glad that at least people that I know who've seen it, who have little kids, seem to love it.
Mm.
The Rotten Tomatoes score at 68% critic score. And some people don't understand what a Rotten Tomatoes score is. It doesn't mean that critics are rating it like 68%. Like, because if you think about that, that's like, well, in high school, that means it's a D.
Yeah.
No, it means 68% of critics liked it.
Mm.
So that means the majority of people liked it. So if something is 51% on Rotten Tomatoes, that means 51% of critics gave it a thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
So even a 51% is still pretty good. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? because that's a majority. But 98% audience score. So, which is, in some ways more important because those are the people who are actually just not into movies, who are just saying, I liked it. So, but then again, those numbers could be thrown off because people who don't think they would like The Little Mermaid just wouldn't go see it. So the people who are audience scores so when you have a disappointing audience score, that's a big problem for you because that's somebody who thinks like, I'm thinking I would like this movie and I didn't like it. So a disappointing audience score is far more important than a positive audience score.
Yeah.
But still 98% is good.
Yeah.
That's really good. And, and I heard the music was great. The singing was great. I heard it was, kind of like the way Johnny felt about Pirates. A lot of people said it was a little bit too long because it's longer than the animated.
Oh, really?
So there's some wasted space, maybe. But the ocean's a big place, so there's going to be some wasted space. So, but most people liked it who saw it, and I think so far it's a win for Disney. So,
yay.
So I think we just threw in some dot points to make this a complete episode. But ultimately, again, this is our 200th. We just want to thank everybody for helping us get here. We're going to have more, bigger, and better things to come. And we're still continuing with the giveaways, more collaborations, more events, more everything. I mean, we're just going to keep this train rolling. And so if we can say anything, it's thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. I mean, there's so many people to,
I know.
especially Carrie, Dole Whip Flow. She was our number one fan, like we said when she was on our episode. Yeah. She was listener zero. You know how they call it? Ground zero, patient zero.
Yeah.
She was listener zero, our number one fan. Christina was also our number one.
Yes. First original super fan, even though she's ineligible for stuff.
Christina was our number one fan, but she's family, so kind of counts, but not really. But we became good friends with Carrie throughout the years, and so, and she's the reason we met Johnny, as Johnny mentioned.
Someday Christina and Carrie are gonna meet, and it's gonna just be super magical, right?
Yes.
In a magic explosion.
They follow each other on Instagram, so but yes, she's the reason we met Johnny. Emily and Clayton Make It Magical podcast. So she's the reason we met a lot of people.
She's the, how they say there's a wound in the force, like with Kylo Ren. She's like, and then you have like Wanda, who's like a nexus. She's like a Disney nexus.
Yeah, she's the nexus.
Yeah, to all Disney
reality. To all the Disney stuff we're
the
part
Disney
of.
multiverse.
Yeah, Disney nexus.
So
thank you.
Thank you, Dole Whip Float. And
thank you all our super fans.
All our super fans. We still have our super fan drawing on June 3rd. So get ready for that. And yeah, thank you again. I'm Brian.
I'm Tracy.
Stay magical.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and visit us at www.ropedroppingknowledge.com.